The views and opinions provided on this show are for informational purposes only and should not be misinterpreted as an offer to buy or sell any securities or to make or consider any investment or course of action. For more information, please go to passiveinvestorshow.com.
And now, the Passive Investor Show. Here's your host, John Fortes.
Welcome, PI listeners, to the Passive Investor Show. I'm the Passive Investor Consultant, John Fortes, your host of the only ranked podcast for passive investors in multifamily syndications and real estate funds. Our goal and purpose of this show is to be a resource to investors and help them master their passive investments by beating inflation 1% at a time. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Investor 101 series. We hit you with a quick nugget and hope that you can implement it quickly and efficiently and easily. Today, we have Gene Trowbridge. If you want to hear more about Gene, revert back to episode 90. That's where we introduced Gene to our audience. We got your attorney's favorite attorney, Gene Trowbridge. Gene, thank you for coming on the show again. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you, John. I'm happy to be back. It's great. I want to say hi to all your passive investors out there today.
Gene, thanks for coming back on the show. And I know that you're a vital team member to any syndication team. The question I have for you today is, what's one way we're structuring these documents when we're working with you for passive investors?
No, I think the ownership, it can be in an LLC. I think the issue is the lender wants the individuals to sign on the note.
Yes.
Personal guarantee. Two different issues. And they really are two different issues. When you buy the property in the LLC, the property is protected. If you pay cash, it's protected. That's fine. You're protected. But here comes a second transaction. And the transaction is when the lender hands you the note and you sign the note. That's a totally different thing. You've agreed to whatever recourse there is on the note. Nothing wrong with taking title in the LLC, but they're going to come back, and we still do that. Even in these, in the more complicated deals that we do, the managers get underwritten. If you're a member of the manager, and this is why it's so great to be passive, because this doesn't apply to you if you're a passive investor. If you're a member of the manager, the manager is going to look at you as the borrower. Yep. Now, you may not be personally liable for the loan. You may be personally liable, but they're going to look at you as the borrower. Let's compare it to buying your house that you live in. When you buy your house, they come out and appraise the house. What are the comps? Okay, I can make a loan of X, excuse me, based on the comps. But I got to know who's going to sign the mortgage. So they underwrite you, what's your income, what's your credit rating and everything. Nothing different than if you were buying the Empire State Building. They're going to come out, they're going to appraise the Empire State Building and say, this building can handle the debt service, or let me say that better. The income from this building can handle the debt service on the loan that's being requested. But let's go and see who the borrowers are. The bank wants to know who they're going to be in business with, right? So the bank is going to look at everyone in here. Rarely does the bank come over and look at the members. And you tell me what you've heard, but generally I hear a 20% rule that if a member, a passive investor, invests more than 20% in the investment LLC, the lender will more than likely underwrite them. Have you heard any other percentages, John?
That's it. That's exactly the number. So
I'm working on one right now where it's 10. I'm working on it. It's a local bank up in Bend, Oregon, and there, it's not Fannie or Freddie. It's just a local bank, and 10% is the rule.
So what Gene is explaining here. Sorry, Gene. So what Gene is explaining here is, say I have an offering and I give it to my passive investors, they can, and someone loves it and they have the capacity to fund as much as they want. They have a cap So there's a minimum investment, but there's a maximum investment, and the maximum investment cannot be more than 20% of what the raise is.
But let's say it's $1 million offering, and you're saying that the minimum for a passive investor is $50,000.
Yes.
Fine. And someone says, well, I'll give you $250,000. Well, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with taking their $250,000. You just need to warn them that the bank is going to ask for a list of all the investors and their percentage ownership. And if anyone is over 20%, the bank is going to want to underwrite them.
Yep.
So we need to know that. My clients need to know that right off the bat.
Yep.
They need to know early so they can set a rule. And sometimes they just say, we won't take anyone over 20%. Fine. Sometimes they say, hey, if you're going to go over 20% because you really love the deal, John, just be ready to be underwritten by the bank. Yeah. Whether you sign on the note or not is something different, but at least you're going to be underwritten.
Yep.
And why is that?
No, thank you for clearing that up, because we essentially, when we send our offerings, we say 19% is the max.
Good, that's fine. And the reason for that is the bank thinks anyone who has more than 20% could conceivably take control during a certain set of circumstances. They could get everyone to vote for them and take control. And so they don't like that. Just as an aside, John, if you invest more than 20%, regardless of what the bank says, you're going to have to fill out the bad actor questionnaire.
Yep.
The SEC has a bad actor questionnaire that says, we want to know who's running the money in this deal. Is there anything they've done in the past that is bad as it relates to running money, handling money of other people? And if you have 20% or more, you might very well have so much authority in the deal that you're going to ask the manager to make decisions that are beneficial to you, not the other members, or maybe you can take over. So they do want to know who the investors are. And every manager fills out one of those bad actor questionnaires and gives it to me. And I look to see if, in fact, they've had any problems with managing other people's money. And if they have, we can pretty much terminate their ability to be in the securities industry. But over here, the members, that's another reason for having the 20% rule. We're getting in the weeds a little bit here, but your passives need to know that. Your passives need to know when they read the operating agreement, John, that it might say no more than 19%. And you're wondering why the hell John put that in his operating agreement. He put it in his operating agreement so you don't have to go to the bank. He put it in his operating agreement so you don't have to fill out a bad actor questionnaire. And you know why else he put it in the agreement? He doesn't want anyone. He doesn't want the tail wagging the dog. He doesn't want big investors compared to all the other investors. You know, if someone puts in 250 and everyone else puts in 50, I got a problem with that $250,000 investor. Mm-hmm. She's going to want more information than I give to the other people. She's going to want special attention. That's a problem. That's a problem for everyone. So it's a good idea. It's a good idea to limit the amount anyone can invest for a number of reasons.
We really appreciate you sharing all that, Gene. How can we stay in touch with you?
The best way to get a hold of me is my direct phone number, 949-855-8399, and or my email, Gene@TrowbridgeLawGroup.com. And our website is TrowbridgeLawGroup.com. There's all sorts of fun, exciting stuff.
Gene, thank you for coming on the show again. We really value your time, and thank you for the conversation and what you shared with that audience. PI listeners, don't forget to rate and review the show. We really appreciate it, and it helps us get more guests like Gene on the show. Don't forget to download your free copy of the investment tracker. It allows you to track up to 5 investments, compare sponsors, markets, and most importantly, projected versus actual returns. To get your copy, go to www.projectedreturns.com. PI listeners, thank you for listening. As always, we hope this was the best resource for your investment strategy, but also the best use of your time. Remember, If this episode helps you, you can help us by leaving a review on iTunes. I hope you feel compelled enough to share it with someone you think this would resonate with as well. As much as it pains us to leave you, but you know what time it is. Time to go put this into practice. Till the next time we meet, happy investing. PI listeners, I'm grateful for your time and I appreciate you for listening. It would mean the world to me if you went to iTunes and left a rating and written review. Let me know how you feel about the show. It really makes a big difference with getting the podcast out there. Don't forget about our Facebook group, where all of our guests are members of. I'll be there to answer any of your questions, or even questions you might have for future guests. Subscribe so you can get the latest episodes and our fan favorite quick hitters. Finally, I want to keep you updated, so head over to johnfortes.com and sign up for the newsletter. If you're interested in partnering with me, sign up on the contact page so you can talk to me directly. I look forward to connecting with you. Happy investing.